Hi writers, we are now to the body paragraph section of how to write an essay. So you probably already watched my video on how to write an introduction. If you didn't, you can certainly go back and watch that. So you're still going to want your MLA heading and your APA or your APA title page, depending on what you use, and you'll have your introduction. So then we're going to move on to our body paragraphs. As always, you want to indent the first line of each new paragraph. That's just true in all scholarly writing. Every assignment that you ever post in any class, you're going to want to indent the first line of each new paragraph. Use the tab space, the tab button on your keyboard. If you don't have that or for some reason it doesn't work, then you're going to want to press the space bar 5 times. A tab space will move 5 spaces over. So it's not a huge thing, but the first thing I would say as a teacher, the first thing I scan and I look to see if the paragraphs are indented. I just kind of visually take in the essay and see how it's set up. So it's definitely one of those things. If your teachers see that none of your paragraphs are indented, immediately, it's a little biased and it happens to all of us, but immediately, our brain shifts to the idea that this is a student who doesn't know how to set up an essay, and that I'm probably going to be looking for a lot of mistakes in this essay, that this is going to be a student who's going to need more help than other students. And what you really want to kind of present yourself as is a strong writer who can really set up an essay, and it's such a small thing. So make sure you indent and all of the other things that I just said. And when we get to our first body paragraph, so what we're going to do with our body paragraphs, and this is so important, and it's going to be, I really want to kind of reinforce the fact that what you're doing in this class is learning how to write papers for the rest of your classes. I can't tell you how often I have a student who has taken English 101 or English 110, has learned how to write a 3-part thesis statement, a 5-paragraph essay, and then they write essays for the literature class that I'm teaching or other classes, and they don't employ any of these techniques. They just give me a sloppy essay that has no thesis, that isn't coherent, isn't put together well. And, I really kind of want to reinforce to you that unlike a lot of other classes that you take in school, if you take a literature class, you're largely, just learning literature. You take, cybersecurity, you take homeland defense classes, things like that. They play a role in your larger major, but they're not really doing anything for you across all of your subjects. Now, this class is very different. This class is teaching you how to write an essay for every single class that you take. What I'm telling you in, and if you're not in one of my classes and you just kind of came across this video, I really want to reinforce that point. When you learn to write a paper, this is not just for your English class. You're not just learning to write a paper for English classes. You are learning to write a paper for every subject that you write papers in. If it's a science, if it's history, if it's homeland security, whatever it is, you're learning to write papers for all classes. They may have to be much longer. They may have different things, but across the board, you have to use these techniques. If you're writing a 10-page paper, obviously you're not only going to have 5 paragraphs, but you're still going to have a thesis statement, and you're still going to support that thesis statement in your body paragraphs. You're just going to have a lot more body paragraphs for each of the topics that you use to support your argument or your assessment. So please keep that in mind when you're in every other class. If you're writing a paper, come back, watch these videos, because they will help you. So for your body paragraphs, you're going to take the first thing in each body paragraph is going to be your topic sentence. Now, your topic sentence is going to be in order that it is in your, I'm pointing at the screen and you guys can't see me, but in the order that it is in your thesis statement, the subpoints that you use to support your thesis statement. So your first topic sentence, if our thesis statement, which we did in the introduction video, is medical marijuana should be legalized because it helps cancer patients, helps with glaucoma, and it helps with PTSD. I'm a little dyslexic. It's kind of an interesting thing for a college English professor to be dyslexic, but I am, and it hasn't stopped me from having a writing career and a teaching career in English. So also keep that in mind. if you feel like you can't do something. So it should be legalized because it helps cancer patients. That's our first topic in our thesis statement. So that's going to be the first topic in our first body paragraph. Now, your topic sentence is kind of a mini thesis statement. So you're going to kind of maybe state the argument, and you're going to state the purpose. You're telling the reader what you're going to be covering. Never in any part of your essay say, in this essay, in this paragraph, I will. It's called an announcement. It's really frowned upon. So just instead of telling the reader, this is what I'm going to tell you about, you tell them about it. Just do it. Don't say what you're going to do. Just do it. Good advice in life too. Rather than talking about what you're going to do, actually do it. So it is important to legalize medical marijuana because it's incredibly helpful to cancer patients. It's a very simple, straightforward topic sentence. Never use a quote as your topic sentence. It must be in your own words. Never have an in-text citation at the end of your topic sentence. You really want a topic sentence that is strong and in your words. In the introduction video, we talk about establishing your voice as the author, establishing yourself as the authority, and that's kind of part of this. You really want that first sentence to be in your voice, in third person, always in third person. In your voice, you make a strong statement, and then you support it. The first sentence of your body paragraph should never be a quote. The last sentence of your body paragraph should never be a quote. If you put quotes at the end of each paragraph in your body paragraph, it looks very lazy to your teachers. This is a little secret, like, shh, we're not supposed to tell you this. I like to give you guys, the little things that English teachers and other teachers, other professors talk about when we all talk together. This is one of those things that people won't tell you. Teachers won't tell you not to do this. But like I said, when I scan the essay, it's not indented. If I scan the essay and there's a quote at the end of each body paragraph, and those are the only quotes, it says to me that the student wrote a paper without doing any research, pulled out a couple of quotes that looked like they might match, and just kind of shoved them into their essay. And it looks lazy, and it looks like you didn't write a strong research paper. And sometimes when I read the whole paper, I'll go, okay, this is probably just stylistically a bad idea, and the student really did write a good paper. But you don't want your teacher kind of coming in with that idea. You never want to add quotes to an existing essay unless, you realize, wait, I just need this to make this a little stronger, or if we're being honest, a little longer. You really want to build your essay around your research. And if you think about it, that only makes sense. It is ridiculous to think you're going to write about a topic and then do the research. You have to do the research, build the essay around the research. But you know what? It actually makes writing go a lot faster and be a lot easier if you already have your existing quotes, because you kind of build your paragraph around the quote. So you find your quotes, you want to integrate them into each paragraph, and you do that by kind of introducing it. The easy way to do this is, according to so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. You can do that. It's fine. Nobody's going to dock points from you for that. It's not the absolute best technique, and I maybe should probably make a separate video on integrating quotes. Ideally with a quote, don't use a full sentence of quote. There's probably going to be a lot of stuff in there that you really don't need, and it just starts to overpower your essay. No more than one sentence of quote for every 4 or 5 sentences of your own words. No more than 20% of your essay should ever be quotes, but it should be closer down to 10%. Mostly your own words, cited facts and statistics, and then short integrated quotes, which means take the part of the sentence of the quote that you need, the part that really supports what you're saying, without a lot of, extra words and things like that, whatever the author who wrote it was using to kind of introduce the idea. Just take that out, integrate it right into your sentence, So if you're writing about something and then just add 3 or 4 words of quotes that support it and cite it, rather than using quotes to say something for you. Another, little tip about what teachers don't always tell you, but it's true when we're grading the paper. It's just a natural bias that's going to happen when we're reading. But, if there's a lot of quote in the essay, 1, it overpowers your voice. 2, it looks lazy. And 3, it actually can be considered a form of plagiarism. If your paper has so many quotes that you didn't really write it, even if you cite everything correctly, it's considered technically a type of plagiarism. Now, it's an iffy area. You're not going to be reported to the school generally for this. If you have like 50% quotes, chances are you're just going to get like a D on the essay, or it's going to be sent back and you're going to be asked to do it again. If quotes overpower your essay, it means you didn't write your essay. You just took what somebody else wrote. Now, I want to stress that this is a cultural thing. If you did not grow up in America, if you grew up especially in an Asian country, it's very likely that you were taught to write essays this way. This is an American thing. We want your words. We are training you to be the scholar, to be the authority in this subject. We don't want you to rely on what other people said. We want you to write this essay and only use what other people said to support your own argument. So this video is getting a little long, and I think that, there's really no reason to go fully into 3 different paragraphs or 10 different paragraphs, because it's all going to be the same. You're going to write your topic sentence. You're going to write some support for it. You're going to use, for each paragraph, use at least one cited quote or one cited statistic or fact or something like that. Use support in every body paragraph, not in your introduction, not in your conclusion, but every body paragraph. Use it in the middle, integrate it, end it with a nice transition sentence, something that kind of even maybe introduces the idea of the next paragraph and pulls the reader to the next paragraph. Then obviously you indent, you use your next topic sentence, and you do the same thing in each paragraph. If you have your quotes, your facts, your statistics, you put them in your outline, and then you just kind of build each paragraph around that. And it's actually really simple. I have an essay that a video that breaks that down. So remember, what you want to do is you want to have your topic sentence, never a quote, never, a statistic or anything cited, your words that highlights the main point from your thesis. Then integrate quote, support that idea throughout the entire paragraph, at least 5 sentences, at least 100 words in third person. Then you move on to your next body paragraphs that will do the same thing. If you have any questions, please let me know.